first half 16 result, we saw a decline in profit of about $6 million. It's important to get underneath those numbers. Of the $6 million, there was a $9 million decrease in the generation and the gas parts of our business. That was a decrease that's been well flagged for a number of periods. So the 9 of the $6 million reduction came from that. Just a short comment on the generation business before we get on. To remind you, there was a large contract that we had with AGL, a large offtake agreement which had supernormal profits as part of that concluded on the 1st of January 2014. The business itself continues to perform well, generating about $16 million worth of profit this year, but it doesn't have that beautiful bump that was that concluded at the end of 2014. The two key areas to focus on in our result were electricity retail in the US and electricity retail in Australia. Let me touch on each of those. Electricity retail in Australia had an increase of a little more than $7.5 million. That was a 12% increase in load and a 10% increase in unit gross margin. So you had a fantastic result in what's essentially a flat to declining market. We continue quarter after quarter after quarter to grow our load and grow our overall EBITDA in that segment, and it remains a good and strong segment for us. Where did the margin growth come from? Well, part of it was just in the way that we managed the wholesale market, but the big change period on period was we're starting to see the impact of the SME customers coming into our overall result. If you think our C&I customers that are our traditional base generate about $4 a terawatt hour of gross margin, an SME customer is between $10 and $30 a terawatt hour customer. We've now grown to almost 33,000 SME customers as part of our portfolio, so you can see the mix, the margin mix starts to come in, and we see really good margin growth. The other thing to focus on is the electricity retail business in the US. We made an acquisition which we completed in the middle of January 2015. So this is our first full year of having the US as part of our results. We had hoped in 2015, financial year 16 was a year of investment. It's where we put people, process and technology in place to emulate the ERM proposition that's been so successful in Australia, and to put that to work in the US. In the 12 months since we've owned the business, we've grown the total load, from just under 1 terawatt hour per annum to this year we're forecasting between 2 and 2.5 terawatt hours, and we'll come in around the midpoint of that. So more than doubling the load, which is the sort of equivalent to revenue. Our forward book, so the value of the contracts that we've yet to deliver. At the end of FY15, our forward book in the US was at 4 terawatt hours. 6 months later, at the end of the first half 16, our forward book was at 7.9 terawatt hours. So the total value of contracts that we have to deliver has doubled in a 6-month period. When you look at our broker penetration in the US, and remember the US market is 515 terawatt hours, and if you compare that to the total Australian C&I market of 85 terawatt hours, the opportunity, the addressable opportunity we have is huge. And as you can see, we've doubled the load and doubled the forward book in a 12-month period. How have we done that? We've increased our broker penetration from 21% to 44%. So we've opened the spigot in which we are getting the deals coming through the door, which we're able to close and then board. So whilst we're feeling pretty confident about the top line side, there's obviously a fair bit of execution given our expectation is by 2018 will be between 8 and 11 terawatt hours. So we'll end up at between 2 and 2.5 at the end of this year, and then we'll double the year after and double the year after. Sounds like a lot, but it's not dissimilar to what we've been able to achieve in Australia. Now, we go to the bottom line result. You see we had a loss of $3.2 million. We had forecast for the year to be at break even, and we've lowered that forecast to an EBITDA loss of between $2 and $3 million. Why do I not feel bad about that? The reason is as follows. We're really pleased with the gross margin we've been able to generate out of this business. Our gross margins for the last half, which is traditionally a low gross margin half because of the hot weather in Texas over summer, but we've been able to achieve a gross margin of about $5.60 a megawatt hour. That's versus a gross margin in Australia for the half of about $4.55. Now, they're not an exact apples for apples comparison, but it's enough for you to know that it's a gross margin that we're actually pretty happy about. You know, given we've doubled the size of the business, the gross margin is pretty good. The loss has been driven by our costs. So whilst we had a gross margin of $5.50 a megawatt hour, we had an OPEX of about $9 a megawatt hour. Now, why do we have that? We've installed new systems, a new CRM system, two new pricing systems, and some trading systems. We've grown our people from 36 to 55 at the end of the period, 61 now, they'll be 65 at the end of the year. When you're building a business that you want to scale and double and double and double again, you have to put the people, process and technology in place to allow you to do that. We're not worried about that because we know as the OPEX, as we double the load, the OPEX per megawatt hour halves. And just to give you some rough numbers, in Australia, when our business was at 10 terawatt hours, where we expect the US to be in a couple of years, our OPEX was about $1.45 a megawatt hour versus 9. So you can see this business scales very well once you've made the investment. So our expectation is the US will be at between -2 and 3 for the full year. So as you can see, coming off the first half of -3, we expect to be break even or a tad better, which shows how already our OPEX is going to start to scale down. So from an overall business strategy point of view, generation will continue on. As I said, Oakey is an important part of the way we manage the wholesale market, and we expect that to be there or thereabouts around $16 million a year. Our C&I customer base will continue to grow. As I said, we grew the total load in the period by 12%. And whilst we expect that load growth to gradually tail off, it'll still be significant through the period. In fact, we're indicating around between 19 and 21 terawatt hours as our 2018 target. We're up to about 33,000 SME customers now, and we intend to add about 10,000 per year. We think that's an achievable opportunity focused on the multi-site SME customers. We haven't made many assumptions around single site, which is a more lucrative but more difficult segment to enter. And under the current regulation, there's quite a bit of risk in terms of your profit. So we need to figure that one out. But our assumptions around the multi-site are to go from 32,000 today to between 50 and 60,000 in 2018. Sitting on top of that, which we have just begun investing in, is our customer solutions business. That is where we take the existing relationship we have with our C&I customers, and remember, our market share is about 20% now, so 1 in 5 businesses, governments and industrials in Australia are taking their energy from us. They're taking it from us because we serve them better. We serve them better because we give them more accurate information about their consumption. We have industry-leading customer satisfaction, and we expect the combination of our knowledge of their consumption and the trust we have in the relationship, we will be able to, in the future, add services around that in terms of analytics, management information and energy efficiency. We made 2 small acquisitions in the period to start supporting that business. One was a company called GreenSense, which specialises in management information and analytics. The other was a company called LumaLED, which specialises in LED lighting and energy efficiency solutions. We expect by 2018 that customer solutions business to be about 8% of the total profit of our business, but building very, very aggressively beyond that. And as I said, the big growth driver sitting on top of the C&I, the Australian business with the C&I, SME and customer solutions, is our US business, which we're pretty comfortable. We've got some very good signs after a year in terms of top line and bottom line growth, and we will continue to drive that business. We also announced a financing deal with Liberty Mutual, $150 million of non-cash-backed bank guarantees, which means we no longer have to put as much cash on our balance sheet to protect the risk of the AEMO credit. If you remember last period, we made an announcement of a deal with Sunset Power. This is similar in the sense that it allows us to take money that's currently restricted, and we have $200 million on our balance sheet that's restricted against those bank guarantees, and free that up to invest in other parts of the business. We announced we would be able to free up about $60 million of that with the deal with Sunset Credit, and you're probably thinking, not quite as much on this deal with Liberty Mutual, but an excellent option for us to better use our capital and get a better return. Final message is that the board approved a dividend of 6 cents and a full year dividend, and signalled a full year dividend of 12 cents. The message from the board is that 6 cents a half is what we will continue with at a minimum. You might think that that's a little high given the payout ratios, but it's a sign of the confidence that we have in the growth of the business that we'll grow into that dividend.